What's up everyone? Welcome to Dating Savior. My name is Hohen, and in this video, I'll be talking to you about some of the steps. I'm going to be teaching you some of the steps that you can use to make your interaction much more exciting and far more dynamic and not be boring. So let's get right into it. We are now living in an era where everyone has a cell phone, where everyone has access to internet. In a way, that is a fantastic thing because it gives us the ability to connect with friends and family easier and more efficiently than ever before. But there's a downside to that. The downside to this is that now we lack the ability to, the urge to have social skills, to having the ability to network with random people, having the ability to cold approach a woman. Now, in this generation, in this era, look at my buddy, for example. He just bought a house not that long ago, and he realized in this generation rely on the internet so much that he had to go to his parents' house for 2 weeks before he had internet to just have access to the internet. So now, we live in an era where we need to be more social, be more interactive with other people, which is why when we interact with people, when we're forced to in a situation where we interact with people, we are much less boring because we don't know exactly what to do. People nowadays have a very short attention span, and our brains are generally attracted to very engaging, intriguing things. You look at us, for example, when we are at work or we are at school or we are out and about, we have the tendency and have that urge all the time when we're bored to check our phones, because it is a perfect getaway in the touch of your fingertips to get away from the boredom, to check your social media platform and to check your text messaging because it gives you that dopamine hit. Now you look at TikTok. That's a good example right now. They're one of the biggest growing social media platform right now at 800 million active users. My boss daughter complains to me about hours and hours that her daughter spends on TikTok. And why is TikTok so popular? It is because they have a lot of short, engaging videos with very engaging music. And it just keeps on repeat. And people on average spend about an hour to an hour and a half each day on TikTok. And you look at any other social media platform, now you look at dating apps like Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. They're getting more popular than ever before. In a way, dating apps are amazing because it gives you the reach to allow you to meet people that you would never probably meet. But this is the problem. Most people rely too much on just dating apps. And they're reducing the cold approaches that they do because now they don't need to. In the end of the day, if you have the ability to cold approach women, you're gonna stand out on the top 5% of the people out there because not many people do it in this era. So there we go. With further ado, I'm gonna teach you the 3 steps on how to make your interaction much more interactive and much less boring. So the very first step to make your interaction far more exciting and more dynamic is simply by talking about your passions. Your passions could be absolutely anything. It can be about video games, it can be about your favorite printer, it could be about your favorite bicycle, anything. Because all the girl care about is whether you have a little bit of passion and fire in you or whether you're very boring. So they want to know. So for example, my friend who's filming me right now, when I talk to him about camera equipment, he's gonna have a little bit jump of energy when he talks about it because he has passion in filming and filming and all the camera equipment. So when you have passion for something, you generally get a lot more excited when you're talking about something you're passionate about. But be assured, talk about your passions in a passionate way. Do not talk about your passions in an unpassionate way. And what do I mean by this? I have a friend who is very good at mountain biking, and when he was talking with this girl, and when he brought up about his mountain biking stuff, he was just like, "Oh yeah, I just go to the trails and I just rip my bike and hit the trails." You know, it's so boring. When you are talking about your passions, go all out. Just talk about it. Go for hours and hours, just talk about it and keep talking about it. Better interactions I've had was I was talking to this girl about protein, and I was talking to her about how you need protein, and how with not having protein is not good for you, and how certain proteins mix better than other proteins, and how certain proteins come with creatines and fiber, and how much better it is. And then eventually I talk about feces and how certain proteins help you poop, and how I was taking mass gainers and I gained 15 pounds of fat, and and how it was so hard to take a dump when I was on this mass gainer. So yeah, talk about your passions, because it's ultimately going to show that you have a lot of spark, a lot of energy when you talk about it. So the second step in order to be more entertaining in your interaction is to talk without filters and have the ability to talk about every topic possible. The ability to change topics. So what do I mean by talking without a filter? A lot of guys, when they when they talk to your friend or they're talking to their family members, they usually talk without a filter. They talk whatever they want. But as soon as they talk to a hot girl, things change. They start to think. When they think of something to say, it goes through this filter in their head. Oh, I got something really cool to say. But then it goes to their head and it's gonna be like, no, this sounds stupid. And then after that, it doesn't even go out. So it goes through their head, but it doesn't come out through their mouth. And the best guys I've seen in game, they have the ability to have no filter. They just say whatever pops out of their head and they'll say it. And the reason why the filter exists is because they want an outcome. They want the girl's number, or they want the girl's contact information, or they don't want to lose this girl, they fear of rejection, whatever it is. The outcome is the reason why they have the filter in their head. And as soon as you cut that outcome, thinking of the outcome, you're gonna have no filters. And then once you have that, you're gonna feel free. Look at Avengers, you look at Inception. These movies do a great job of going from, for example, Inception, it goes from dream to dream to dream. You look at Avengers, it goes from a certain, you have a bunch of different plots going on at the same time under one huge storyline of killing Thanos. It's the same thing. The reason why this, having the ability to switch between different topics is so effective is because it shows that you are unpredictable. I'm gonna repeat this again. You are unpredictable, and girls like unpredictability. So one of the key things you can do in order to switch topics is simply when you talk to a girl, you ask them, hey, let's give whatever they say. You take one word and come up with something else and just say it. So for example, I can ask a girl, hey, which part of Europe are you from? And she'll be like, oh, I'm German and Irish. I'm be like, ooh, I like German Shepherds. Have you seen the movie John Wick? John Wick 3, the third one, when they go and just rip the guy's arm off? And then she'll be like, oh yeah, that movie was awesome. And then I'll start talking about movies. And I'll be like, too bad there isn't any good movies out lately. And she'll be like, oh, you can watch an old movie. And then I'll be like, now I could take the word old. I'll be like, are you older than me? If you're older than me, you better take me out for ice cream. And you better show me it's a good day, and you better be funnier than me. And yeah, just be sure that you have no filters when you talk, and that you have the ability to consistently change topics. Don't have any fear in doing that, because it's actually a good thing. So the third and final point in order to make your interaction a lot more interesting and be less boring is to have very advanced and detailed storytelling. You want to paint pictures in their head, and you want to tell them how you feel. So I'll give you two versions of stories. Me and my buddy drove down to Vancouver to meet another friend, and we went to a show. It was pretty cool. So that's the first story. And then I can elaborate it. I can be like, oh, me and my buddy drove down to Vancouver, and along the way, there was a lot of twisty roads. It was very, very smooth. It was beautiful roads. We had some beautiful scenery. We were able to see the lake and the fresh air. We were able to see very, very fresh roads, painted roads. And when we got to Vancouver, it was very, very. Met with my buddy. We went to Stanley Park, and Stanley Park, we walked the seawall, and we were able to see the ocean we were able to walk the seawall and smell the ocean breeze, and we felt free because we were able to see all these ships going through, and we were just there. And I realized that me and my 3 buddies were just we haven't been together for so long, and that we had just such a great time together because we were all finally together, reunited, and having fun. And we went to a show that night, and it was probably the best night of our lives. And yeah, just tell them to have very, very effective storytelling. Just to be very, very detailed. Tell them how you to paint pictures in their head, so they can imagine what you're saying, and then tell them how you feel. You feel free. You feel like you're you were very, very happy, whatever it is, or you felt nervous, anything. As long as and they can relate to that, because girls speak with emotions, and you want to do that, and that is the 3rd point. So, advanced storytelling. So there you have it. Those are my 3 steps in order to spice up your conversation with our interaction way more entertaining, way more dynamic. So to review, first one is talk about your passions. It's very important to talk about your passions. Second one is have no filters and the ability to talk about bouncing between different topics, no matter what. And the 3rd one is to have advanced storytelling. You do all 3 of these things, you're gonna be much, much, much further ahead than most of the guys already in an interaction. So my call of action to you today is that I want you guys to try these out today. Start by talking about your passions, because you're gonna see a huge, huge, huge improvement. Because people are gonna see they're gonna see that you have more energy, you have no fears on whatever you say. Speak without filters, and you should be good. But that's all I have for you today in this video, and I will see you very, very soon. But until next time, peace out.